Welcome to a very special episode of J-Rod Concerts Live with Angela Autumn. Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to be here with a shining Nashville star, Angela Autumn. How are you today?
I'm doing so well. Happy to be here with you, Jamie.
Thanks for coming. You know, Angela, first of all, I have to tell you, Frontier Woman, your album, it came out recently in early June.
Yes.
And I have to congratulate you because it is absolutely wonderful.
Thank you so much.
It just oozes with like your soul in it. You can tell that you put, you know, your feelings into it, your life experiences, where you come from, where you've been.
Yep.
And it just comes across in every song, and it's very emotional, but also hopeful, and it's just a beautiful album. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. Yeah, a lot of my poetry is interwoven into the songs and put to music, and I tried to arrange it like a story. So I'm glad you said that. Thank you.
Yeah, it worked out. The track listing was beautiful, and the way you ended, that song you wrote in Cleveland, and just the whole thing.
Yeah, and you know about that, so.
Yeah, absolutely, Angela. So let me ask about your life, because your influences and all these beautiful things, because you come from a beautiful part of the U.S., from Western Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Small town called.
Yeah.
What's the name of the
Zelienople.
town? Zelienople.
It's Zelienople. Okay. It is in Butler County. It's about 40 minutes north of Pittsburgh. And I spent most of my life there before moving here. So that definitely shapes my writing and my musical upbringing. Yeah.
Right. So bluegrass came into your life relatively late. You were 20. So before that, when you were in your early years, how did music come to your life?
I think first I would listen to my dad's records with him. So we would listen to Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and John Denver and James Taylor. And when I was 9, I asked for a guitar, and I started performing, and it was just the most amazing feeling, and kind of like lit a fire in me, and I knew I wanted to be a singer.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And before I got into bluegrass, I was into Bob Dylan, Joan Baez,
Joni Mitchell,
and
right?
Joni Mitchell a little bit.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
The 60s people I love, and 70s.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you have that, flower child spirit, that free spirit.
Something about that I connect with, because my parents grew up in the 60s and 70s. So I think coming from a little bit, like they're kind of part of the older generation, and that's why I connect with that spirit so much.
That makes sense, because your dad was like a coach. He wasn't really like a musician.
Right.
That kind of stuff, but it makes sense that that's where it came from.
Right, exactly.
Okay, he had it inside of him, because he lived the 60s. I love that.
Totally.
I love that.
Totally.
Okay, and then bluegrass.
Bluegrass.
You've said before that bluegrass found you. You didn't find bluegrass.
I was looking. I was looking, and I did find a community in Pittsburgh that was just amazing. Every Wednesday, there was kind of similar to here in Nashville at the American Legion.
Sure.
There was a Bluegrass Wednesday.
Okay.
I guess they just exist everywhere. And I would go down, and was 20 years old, and probably bought like $3 Yinglings,
Nice.
Drinking underage.
$3 Yinglings.
2 actually, my bad. But yeah, just dancing and like learning all of the songs that the band played kind of like helped me build my repertoire.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
What was it about bluegrass, Angela, that really like kind of like clicked with your soul? I've had the chance to connect with you on and off camera, and you're such a unicorn, so many different colors. I feel like you could have gone in many different musical directions.
Yeah.
Why bluegrass?
It almost feels like it's part of my ancestry, and I know one of my relatives, my great uncle actually played banjo. And as I learn more about him, I can kind of see how, I would end up playing banjo as well.
Yeah.
But it didn't enter like directly through anyone in my family. It was more of like a spiritual connection with the old country, and I just love the way it makes me feel, and so timeless, and carries me through, all sorts of things and experiences that I've been through. So.
It's very like human, like it's very like everyday human situations, right?
And also my mother was an instrument maker growing up. She would make instruments out of gourds, and she would make these really cool organic instruments.
Okay.
And she would always like bring them to my school and give talks about it. So I think that's why I gravitate towards like banjo, acoustic instruments. It just feels so natural. And she also played didgeridoo, so you know, my mom was a really cool lady.
Yeah, I can see that. I love that.
So the more I think about it, I can see why I didn't do jazz or
or any other
like
stuff.
Soul, but I love jazz and soul.
Right, I love that. Maybe it can come into later music down the line.
Blues as well. Like I love the blues. When I was 16, I was in all these great programs with like other blues musicians that were younger, and I loved watching them and seeing them do their thing, but I quickly learned that wasn't what I was.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You've always been like an old soul. And I mean that in the best ways.
Totally.
I mean that in the best ways. Like it's like you've lived so much and you're so young. It's inside of you. I don't know.
I guess
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think you're right, Jamie. You got me pinned down.
No, it's just interesting. And you know, one of the cool things about you as well is your discipline, your focus, which I see every day here in Nashville. You gotta be it. And you know, looking back at your life, it made sense that you were like a track and field star, basically, like a heck of a runner. I just want to tell my audience, like you were like competing almost at the highest level of track and field. Yeah,
I was a Division I runner, and that was where I, you know, used my fire, I guess.
Yeah.
And performing was like more of an emotional release for me when I was an athlete, and I'm learning to apply those principles from track and field to my playing.
Yeah.
More and more, but yeah, music's still where I put my emotional, you know, world. And,
sure.
And it helps me as therapy, just to write songs and be able to talk about things I wouldn't normally be able to talk about.
Yeah, it's like a therapy, absolutely.
Yeah.
But don't you also think there's like a discipline element to it? Because, you know, you had to train very hard, very organized, wake up at whatever crack of dawn.
Yeah.
You know, and with the music industry, it's almost like it makes sense because you're such a hard worker. You're so disciplined.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you always have to be on, and honestly just treating everyone kindly that you meet, because everyone in Nashville is, you know, a musician or in the music industry, and it's all about having, you know, just that attitude of like humility.
Yeah, totally.
When you're interacting with everyone here, you know, it's easy to be like.
I know. When someone doesn't have that attitude, it's like you're not from here.
No, I love the attitude in Nashville. It's so welcoming and really, really a great place to grow.
Yeah, I agree.
So
let's talk about when you made that shift to Nashville. You know, when you got into your Chevy Cruze and you packed it up and you said, I'm going to Music City. What was that? First of all, there's a few questions there. First of all, what was like the breakthrough moment, the moment where you reached the spark and you said, I'm going to Nashville and it's happening now?
Well, I remember the breakthrough moment because I was in my bedroom, and I had a board, like a whiteboard, and I started writing like just different ideas that I wanted and kind of, you know, organizing them, and it said, and one of them was van and one of them was Nashville. So I knew that I needed to make the move to Nashville and I needed to get a van, and that somehow that would translate into me doing the things I needed to do in order to grow.
Sure.
Because I felt like I wasn't in a place where I could grow anymore. And I'm seeing those things like manifest every day, you know, being able to travel, being able to be flexible, and being in a place where people are supportive is like so important. But yeah, I remember that moment when I decided like, I'm going to go to Nashville no matter what. I'm going to make it happen and I'll just figure it out.
Yeah, beautiful. And we were talking about this off camera, but I just want to like emphasize that it's so great the way that you kind of like embraced uncertainty.
Thank you.
Instead of being paralyzed by it. And it seems to be a pattern in your life.
Yeah.
You just kind of like stare into the unknown and you go for it.
Well, I've never had, you know, any type of real role model other than, you know, artists that I look up to.
Yeah.
I'm like the only kid in my family and only child. So I always feel like whatever I tried to be really good at it.
Sure.
And that's what I'm doing now, and I've chosen this path. And
yeah, what year did you move here, Angela?
2019.
2019.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can talk as much or as little as this, but like, do you think that like the fact your father unfortunately passed, do you think this had a little bit to do with like when you said, man, life is short, life is one.
Yeah.
We gotta live with passion every moment, every day.
Yeah, I think that was a turning point for me, especially losing someone like that young. I just, it's really, really crazy how life can get away from us. And so I made the decision to move and to do this, what I've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? Kind of.
Yeah,
it's
100%.
hard to put into words.
Yeah.
But
yeah, life.
Yeah.
Exactly, and I think 2020. I mean, for those of us that like listen, because some people seem already forgotten, it showed us that life is. You can make all the plans you want.
Right.
You can try to prognosticate, but things can change.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you moved to Nashville, and you didn't know anybody.
No, nobody.
Yeah.
One person, I think. Her name is Millie Raccoon. She is an amazing fiddle player. But yeah, I moved here. I started going out and going to jams, and then about 3 months later, I went into the studio and started tracking my songs. And I, kind of like everything we're talking about, I just said, these are the songs I want to do. Didn't really have a clear idea of what would happen to them. I didn't even know they would, become the record. But it was with a bunch of bluegrass musicians in town.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I actually have I have a list of some of those people in here.
Oh, that's great.
On my CD. I can read that because I want to give them all the credit that they deserve.
Because Nashville is such a tight-knit family. It's beautiful.
It is. I have, let me see, I don't want to leave anyone out, but I'll just name a few of the people in town. Audrey McAlpine is a really great singer.
Oh, I love her. Yeah, she's great.
Julian Pinelli is a really great fiddle player. Nate Leith is a really great fiddle
Shout
player.
out to Nate.
Shout out to Nate. Kagan and Mickey Justice are a father and son who I love. And Scott Murray is a steel player downtown. It was it was an exercise to ask them to be part of my record. And I'm so glad that it worked out.
It definitely worked out.
And I'm just going to keep doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you did because it's such a great record.
Thank you.
And let's chat about it for a second because So Frontier Woman. Here it is. Do you have it in vinyl?
That's me.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Not
Vinyl's
yet.
backed up right now.
Vinyl's backed up. Okay, but you can stream it wherever music is sold. But let me ask you about 2020 and the album.
Yeah,
because
let's
you
talk
basically
about it.
had the album pretty much ready in the oven, and then kind of 2020 happened. But it was almost like a good thing.
It was.
With the way it turned out.
It was a good thing. I got to rework parts of it. I
added some drums, like some Wilco style drums.
I added some Wilco style drums. I was fortunate enough to work with a different mixing engineer who really helped me hone in my sound.
Okay.
And my friend Tommy Carnes, he's amazing, and we just got to go in and kind of add those details that I wouldn't have gotten to had 2020 not happened. And I worked with just some really great artists, even the designer of the record of the cover.
The design, it's beautiful.
Jeremy Fetzler. So I'm just happy I got to take my time.
And 3 new songs also came out of it, right?
Yeah, the last 3.
The last 3, which are super powerful.
Right, and that's why I wanted to add them. Because they belonged on this record.
Yeah.
They don't belong on the next one.
No, it was this era.
It was this era of
it was
Angela.
That in between. I love it.
And I felt like it was my job to just get it out.
Oh my God. It's so exciting to see where you're going next.
Thank you so much.
I love it. You've been so kind with
Jamie.
your time, and I think you're going to play a song for us. But let me ask you this question. How is Angela Autumn different today in August of 2021 than the Angela Autumn of late February of 2020? What did you shed personally? What did you learn that you will no longer carry with you going forward?
I think I'm learning to just shed sadness and to add more joy into my life and more gratitude. And as songwriters, sometimes we like hang on to feelings, but
Yeah.
I'm ready to, just like let go of baggage and become like a new person. I feel like we all have the opportunity to become new people.
Well, every 90 days, every cell in our body dies and regenerates. So literally, the person that Angela Autumn is today is different than like when we met in like June or whatever. You're like literally physiology a different person.
Exactly.
So why do we hang on to these memories, to this pain?
I don't know.
We're different people.
But forget tomorrow because today's a new day. So.
There you go, Angela Autumn.
Yeah, thank you.
Singer, songwriter, runner, life coach. I love it. Motivational speaker.
You know me.
Yeah. So what are you going to play for us?
I'm going to play you a song called Insecurities. Great.
Love it.
Hi, I'm Angela Autumn, and this song is called Insecurities. Touching me.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angela.
Thank you, Jamie.
That was awesome.
That was so fun.
So fun.
Thanks for having me. Cool.
We're good?
Yeah.
Oh, just